Hi guys, so this is a video for air dry clay shapes, and I'm using just normal air dry clay which I have rolled out into a thin sheet. I've used a rolling pin. You do need a rolling pin because all the shapes we're going to make today do involve this sort of flat shape. Okay, so we're going to be making several different things today, and I'm going to start off with let me show you what sort of things you need. So I've got some cutters here. I'm not sure I'm going to use that one, but star cutter and heart, and then also I've got this polystyrene ball, and I've got a little bit of water and some clay worker things. You can use anything. You can use skewers, knives. You don't have to use those, and that's my little bit of water there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this shape. So this is one I made earlier. It's really simple, and here's one that's finished, and it's got a little some flowers in it as well. It's really pretty, but really simple to make. Okay, oh, and the other thing I'm using is some lace as well. So I've got lots of different types of lace, and you'll see how to use them in a second. I just want to check. Right, okay, so I have got my piece of rolled out air dry clay. I'm going to place a bit of lace on top and just roll over it, putting a fair amount of pressure on with the rolling pin, and then take the lace off, and you can see there's a pattern left on it. Now all I'm going to do for this one is to cut out a round shape. So I can get these out, get the shape out on this one here. So I'm going to cut out a round shape, take the clay from, wrap it up in a big cling film so that it doesn't go too hard, and that's the only shape you need really. So turn it over, and all you do is you just roll it round into a cone shape, that, and that is practically finished, apart from you need to make sure that this bit is fixed to that bit, and to do that you need to put in on a tiny little bit of water on both sides, and you want to score it a little, bring the bits of dough. I mean, this is air dry clay. It's not as good as working with clay, obviously. It's not as malleable and easy to fix together and things like that. So in the end you're left with that shape, and you leave that to dry. That's it, that's the first shape. I'm going to show you how to paint it in a little bit. The next one is to make a bowl, and this is really simple as well. I'm going to use the bigger bit of clay that's here, and yeah, I am going to use another piece of lace, put that on top, and just move it over a bit. That's it. Just put a fair amount of pressure on, and roll over. These sorts of things that I'm making are really nice to give to people for presents, and you don't have to do the lace patterns on them. You can just make them plain and then decorate them how you'd like. So I'm going to put the shape roughly in the center, press down. I'm going to use this bit in a second, and that is my bowl shape. And then I can use my polystyrene ball I've got here, and I'm just going to put the bowl on top like that. If you want to get a perfect round shape, you can keep pressing it down and working it into place, or you can leave the edges a little bit scraggly. You want to let it dry on top of the polystyrene ball so that it keeps its shape. I'm going to make some plain hearts, but also I'm going to show you how to make hearts like these. So they've got a pattern down one side, and I got this bit of lace here which I'm going to use, and oops, I'm just going to roll that into the clay. You get a really nice pronounced pattern with that, and get the heart shape, and just line it up so that the line of the bit of lace in there, the imprint, lines up with the middle of the heart, and just cut them out. That's it. I'm also going to make some plain shapes as well, just to show you something different. And just take off the clay, and there you go, there's your heart. You can paint the shapes when they're a little bit wet and they dry with the paint, which is really cool. But there's another way to decorate the shapes, which is really good when they're dry. So if you feel like you have some residents who might not be able to make the shapes, but you think they'll be able to colour them, then you can pre-make some. They're really easy to make, honestly, just like making cookies really. And a brilliant way to colour them in is using felt tips. So I've got some Sharpies, but normal felt tips work, and it's actually really quite therapeutic doing it. It's just like colouring it in with, you know, like, I don't know, a pattern or anything like that. I've managed to choose a Sharpie that doesn't have much juice left in it. I'm going to show you another way. Now I've got these, which are chalk colours. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So they're chalk colours, and I've got this little thing with a crocodile clip on the end of it, and all you do is pick up, I'm going to do this pink, so you pick up the little bit of, it's like a bit of cotton wool, and it's almost like doing makeup, I suppose. It's a bit like doing makeup. So not everyone is going to have these. I didn't even know, you know, they existed before I found them in the shop. So yeah, but they do give a really nice effect. So an alternative to using this might be to actually use makeup, I suppose. I don't know, I haven't tried it out. But also I've tried it out with chalk and with pastels as well, and pastels work really well. So you can do it with pastels. You do need to varnish, I would say, the piece of pottery afterwards, because otherwise it won't stay on. Now there's a little bit of pink. I'm going to put a different pink colour on. And you just keep going, and eventually you end up with something looking like this, which I've already showed you. So this is one that I finished earlier. Here's one I made earlier, and that's the idea, is that you put some dried flowers in, or whatever flowers you like. Yeah, and I've varnished this one as well, so you can see it's slightly shiny, to keep it in good shape. So the last thing I'm going to show you is painting, and I'm doing this with, and take that off there, I'm doing this with watercolours. So you want colours that are a little bit watered down. I'm going to put my ball on there. I've done one side, which is blue, and I'm going to do the other side. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to turn out. We shall see. So I've got some paint brushes, and I've got some different coloured paints. I've got some purple, blue and pink, and basically you just paint it on, and the watercolour goes into the grooves of the pattern. So you don't have to use watercolour, but you can use any paint that waters down, basically. But I think watercolour is going to give it a really lovely washed out faded look. Right, okay, so that's it finished. I'm going to take it off the ball, move that away, and put it down there. I don't think it shows the colours, I don't think it shows the colours off brilliantly, but I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to put it back on the ball and let it dry. So there you go. There are some ideas to make pottery. Some hearts and some little flower holders as well, and I've got stars too. You make stuff with stars. You make stuff with any pastry cutter you like, basically. Maybe you don't like hearts, maybe you want elephants or something like that. It's a really versatile activity, and it's lots of fun as well.